It's not physically possible for someone to vanish off the face of the earth, yet somehow it seemingly happens all the time. And two good examples of this are the disappearances of Andrew Gosden and Tiffany Daniels. They were here 1 second, and the next, they were gone. These are two completely separate cases happening 6 years and thousands of miles apart, yet they have one disturbing thing in common. In both cases, we can trace their movements almost all the way up until the moment they disappear, and then the trail just stops. Andrew Gosden was only 14 years old when he disappeared in 2007. He was incredibly intelligent, a straight A student with perfect attendance, and according to his family, Andrew was a homebody. So what he did on September 14th, 2011 makes absolutely no sense. Andrew left home that morning wearing his school uniform, but instead of going to school, he waited for his parents to leave, went back home, changed into jeans and a Slipknot t-shirt. He grabbed his PlayStation Portable and wallet and left again. He withdrew 200 pounds from his bank account. But one of the strangest things to me is that he left 100 pounds in cash sitting in his bedroom, completely untouched. Then he went to the train station and bought a one-way ticket to London. The train station employee even told Andrew that it would only cost him 50 pence more to buy a return ticket. Andrew was adamant though. He said no, he didn't need one. But Andrew also left behind his PSP charger, a jacket, and his passport. And this kind of makes it seem like he wasn't planning on being gone for very long. At 11:25 that morning, surveillance footage captured Andrew walking out of King's Cross Station and onto the streets of London. And that is the last confirmed sighting of him. No confirmed phone calls, no purchases, no confirmed sightings, just nothing. He just walks through those doors and disappears. He has never been found, and his disappearance remains a mystery. But somehow, 6 years later, almost the exact same thing would happen to Tiffany Daniels. But unlike Andrew, we don't even know if Tiffany was actually present for the final piece of evidence in her case. Tiffany was 25 years old and was living in Pensacola, Florida when she disappeared on August 12, 2013. She was an artist and she loved hiking and camping, and her nickname to her dad was a Butterfly Girl because she was the type of person to literally stop what she was doing to go and follow a butterfly. That afternoon, Tiffany told her boss that she was dealing with some personal problems, asked for a few days off, and clocked out at 4:43 p.m. She was never seen again. But 3 hours later, at exactly 7:51 p.m., Tiffany's Toyota 4Runner crossed a toll bridge heading towards Santa Rosa Island. The camera photographed her license plate. It did not photograph the driver, and her vehicle was never recorded coming back across that bridge. 8 days later, Tiffany's abandoned 4Runner was found on the island. Her purse was still inside. So were her clothes, several of her paintings, and even a jar of peanut butter. But Tiffany was nowhere to be found. And investigators discovered 2 fingerprints on the door of her vehicle that did not match Tiffany, her boyfriend at the time, or her roommate. To this day, we don't even know for certain that Tiffany was the person who drove her car onto that island. And that is what makes both of these cases so deeply unsettling to me. Andrew walks out of a train station and seemingly disappears in a super busy city surrounded by people. Tiffany's car crosses onto an island, and we don't even know who was behind the wheel. There is no clear ending to either story, just a point where the evidence suddenly stops. I recently covered both of these cases on my podcast called The Final Hours, and every case that we've covered has impacted me in some way, but these two have really stayed with me because honestly, nothing scares me more than realizing how quickly someone can seemingly disappear off of the face of the earth forever. If you want to hear everything we know about what happened in their final hours, the full episodes are available on The Final Hours, wherever you get your podcasts. Let me know what you guys think of the show, and if you have any cases that you want us to cover, leave them in the comments.